Hello everyone, my name is Ankit Verma. Today we'll start the topic Internet. Well, in the market we have the various definitions about the Internet. For example, that is a combination of LAN and WAN, or maybe you can say that is a combination of various networks. So we will start our study with the basic network. We have the two terms, the AN Internet or the complete Internet. So starting with the AN Internet, you can see that we have the AN Internet. That means you can see we have the small I. Small I, that means that is the network of network. This is called the AN Internet. But we are talking about the capital I, the complete Internet. Now we have the Internet with the capital I. That means that is the combination of various WANs, various LAN and combination of various small Internet. So if we start our study with the small network, network is the interconnection of autonomous computer, as we have discussed in our last lecture of the networking. Then come to the AN Internet. AN Internet is the combination of various networks, and if we say about the Internet with the capital I, that means that is a combination of various WANs, LANs, small networks, small Internet. As you have seen your network in the Internet cafes, multimedia, they are all the Internet. So let's talk about the complete history of the Internet. So we are talking about the history of Internet. We have started the first generation with a small network. As we have discussed, the network is the interconnection of autonomous computers. Then we have the next one is the AN Internet. That is a combination of various networks. And then we have the Internet with the capital I. And which one is the combination of various small Internet networks, LAN, WAN and MAN. So now, where we use the Internet? We use the Internet in colleges, schools, research facilities, labs, laboratories and various corporations. So let's talk about now the history was starting from 1960. In the 1960 we have only the mainframe computers and they were unable to communicate with each other. So the mainframe system was the standalone. Now we have the two basic terms in the 1960s in which there was a mainframe computer. The computer was of various types, so we have taken the computer of the mainframe. And why they are standalone? For example, we have the different vendors. You can say the Nokia and the Airtel. But these computers of Nokia and Airtel can't communicate with each other. So that's why they were the standalone. That means the computer of different manufacturer can't communicate with each other. Now nextly we have the new generation of the 1967. In the 1967, in the ACM meeting, ACM stands for the Association of Computing Ministry. So in the ACM meeting, ARPANET proposed the idea for any network so that we people can combine with that particular network. So the meeting was the ACM meeting, where ACM stands for Association of Computing Machinery. Now in the ACM meeting, ARPA come in front and proposed the idea. And the idea was to produce a network called the ARPANET. In the idea of ARPANET, ARPA proposed that we should have a particular device and we provide the name to devices IMP, Interface Message Processor. Now with that particular IMP, Interface Message Processor, various networks of different companies would be attached, and those networks of different companies can communicate with each other. So that was the main feature in the 1967 which was proposed by the ARPA. So next coming years we have the ARPANET in market. So now next we come to the 1969. In the 1969 the ARPANET which was proposed by the ARPA was the reality. Now after that we have the four nodes which were connected to the IMPs, that is the Interface Message Processor. So these were the four nodes connected to the IMPs. So now the first node among the four were the UCLA. UCLA stands for University of California at Los Angeles, and secondly we have the UCSB, where UCSB stands for the University of California at Santa Barbara. Then third we have the SRI, where SRI stands for Stanford Research Institute. And lastly at the fourth node we have UU, and UU stands for University of U. So these were the four nodes which were first connected to the IMPs. Now next we have the 1972 and the history of the Internet. Now in the 1972 we have the two persons which were the core member of ARPANET. The name was the Wind Curve and the second one was the Bobcan. They both were the core member of the ARPANET and they have collaborated for the new project called the Interneting project. Now nextly we have in the history we have the 1973. In the 1973 the TCP IP comes in the market. Now we have the protocol for end-to-end delivery, that is called the TCP IP. We provide the name to that protocol as TCP IP protocol. The firstly that was not TCP IP, it was only the TCP protocol, and the TCP protocol was further divided into two parts, that was the TCP and secondly we have the IP, to whom we call today as the TCP IP complete protocol. And TCP is used to handle the high level functions. So we have the few of the functions just like the segmentation, reassembly, error correction and detection. So these are the three main functions of the higher level and these are handled by the TCP IP layer. Now next we have the IP layer, which is called the internetworking protocol, and IP is used to handle datagram and the routing. So it handles firstly the datagram and secondly for the routing purpose. Routing is to select the shortest path. When we don't find the shortest path, we have the second best path. So that is all about in the 1973, in which we have the TCP IP protocol. So now we have the today. In today's market we have the ISPs, and before the ISP we have the hierarchical structure, that is a combination of various LAN and MAN. It joins various connecting devices, switching stations. So today is the internet is a combination of various hierarchies. We basically use the ISP. And the ISP stands for the Internet Service Provider. You are using the internet at your home, that is provided by the ISP. For example, you have the Vodafone services, we have the Airtel services. These are all the ISPs which provide the internet service. So we call it as the Internet Service Provider. Now today we have the various types of ISPs. Basically you have the four types. And the first category of IP comes under the international ISP. Now, for example, we have internationally connected the internet services, then that is called the international ISP. Then secondly, we have the national ISP. If the services of different nations are combined with each other with the help of ISPs, then that is called the national ISP. Then the third one, we have the regional ISP. If the different regions, for example, the different cities are combined with each other, then called the regional ISP. Then lastly, fourth, we have the local ISP. If we have very small cities under the regional ISP, that is called the local ISP. Now, the local ISP may be connected to the regional or the national. For example, we have a nation that is very small and there is no as such regions are provided. Then we have the local ISP that is connected to the nation. And if we have the complete big nation which have multiple regions, then local ISP connected to the region. So that means we can say that national IP provides the services to regional ISP and that is connected via the international ISP, and local ISP can be connected to regional or maybe to the international ISP. So let's draw the diagram to understand the ISP. Now we have the hierarchical organization of the ISP. So see, with the help of diagram we will explain how these different IPs are connected. So let's draw the diagram. As example, we have two local ISPs and they are connected to a particular regional ISP with the help of routers. Now we can see that we have the two ISPs. These are the local one and they are connected with the regional ISP with the help of the two routers, and their routers are the R1 and R2. Another, we have the same thing with the regional IP where two IPs are there and connected with the regional IP. Now you can see that we have the four ISPs of different types and they are connected to different regions. So ISP may be vary in their number. They are not two particular IP, they may be the vary. So I am providing the dot because the ISP number may vary. Now we have the particular national ISP through which two regional ISPs are connected with the help of some particular routers. Now you can see that the national IP can control various regional ISPs and regional ISP can control various local ISPs. So that is all about the hierarchical organization of internet. So today we have in the today world we have discussed about the structure of the national ISP. Now come to the how national ISPs are connected with each other. We know that the national ISP is connected with the regional and the regional with the local one, but how the national are connected with each other. So now our next diagram is all about the interconnection of national ISPs. So now we will draw the next diagram. Now we have the 5 national ISPs and we have a one NAP, that is called the network access point. Now NAP contains various routers as well as the switching elements, and the NAP is connected to various national ISPs, and national ISPs are providing services to another national ISPs. So that is all about the national ISPs are connected with each other with the help of the NAP, that is the network access point. And few times we have the peering points to connect national to national ISP. So that is the peering point which is provided by the private switching stations. So that was all about the interconnection of national ISPs. So today we have discussed the two topics, that is the internet with the complete history, what is the small I internet, what is the capital I internet, what are the brief history, and what was the ARPANET. How ARPANET come into the market, and what is the ISP, national ISP, regional ISPs, and what is the network access point, that is the NAP. So that was all about internet. Thank you.